I was looking around on YouTube the other day, as I usually do, and I was surprised to see a few Richard Laymon videos of people posting their reviews or their collections of Richard Laymon novels because I really enjoy his work. And the more I watched these videos, the more I was inspired to make my own. Because I do have a fastly growing Richard Laymon collection. And I've been reading Richard Laymon since October 2007. I was on my honeymoon in a CVS and just looking around the little book section. Really didn't expect to find anything, and then I happened across the cellar, and it was just calling to me. And I read the back, and I said, "Man, this is like a horror film in a novel." So I picked it up, and I've been reading him ever since. A little history on Richard Laymon because he was a pretty unique guy. He was born in 1947, January. Um, got a master's degree in English. He wrote over 30 novels, over 60 short stories. A very prolific, very busy author. And he was part of the splatterpunk subgenre of horror fiction, which is it's known for its graphic and gory depictions of violence and sexual content. Other authors included in this subgenre are authors like Clive Barker, Poppy Zebright. You got Edward Lee, Matheson. So you have a pretty tough group of guys there, and that they can write some pretty sick shit. Um, his novel Flesh was won an award, the Science Fiction Chronicle, in 1988 for best horror novel. Flesh, and I believe it was the Funhouse, was nominated for a Bram Stoker award. I'm not sure if it's Funhouse or not. I have to get back to that. During his lifetime, because sadly Richard Laymon died uh, Valentine's Day 2001, almost, 11 years to, actually 12 years to the day? Yeah, okay. Duh. So, during his lifetime, he wasn't really big here in the States. The majority of his fan base was over in Europe, and he had a pretty strong following there. But I think as his legacy goes on here, I think more and more fans are here in the States are taking a liking to him. He really is a unique author, a very interesting author, and now that he's been gone for a few years, I think that he's really caught the minds of people who love horror. He definitely shouldn't be thrown under the bus or missed under anybody's radar because he really is a talented writer. And let me go into my collection, show everybody what I had. Some of these books I have not read. Actually, I got some of them for Christmas this year, so I'm still working through most of the titles. But I do own The Lake on a PDF version, which I accidentally purchased because I thought it was a audio book. So I'll never get to read it. I'll have to buy the physical copy because I don't do e-readers. I have Flesh on audiobook, which I wasn't a big fan of, and I believe that's it. The rest I have all physical copies, and I will go through them now. Randomly picking the first book up is the first book I ever bought. As I said earlier, The Cellar, great novel. It's part of the Beast House trilogy, I believe. The first novel in the Beast House trilogy. When I read this book, I pretty much said, look, this guy's for me. He's up my alley. He's writing what I want to read, and he's not boring. Second book I actually read this summer on a trip to Maine, and I enjoyed it very, very much. It's Blood Games. It's basically about these 5 college friends who once every year they dedicate like a weekend to get together, and they leave the husbands behind. They leave the kids behind. They're 5 college girls, and they're all pretty unique characters. Um, Laymon writes women pretty well, if you ask me, especially with Blood Games, because all the characters are women. Um, so these 5 women, they meet up each year, and the book kind of goes back and forth with other trips they've had in the past, other excursions, and they're always getting in trouble, always just trying to have fun. And on this particular excursion to the Totem Pole Lodge, they happen upon some backwoods, classic Laymon villains. So I thoroughly enjoyed it. Moving right along. Among the Missing. This is the book that I'm glad I did not pick up first. It's the cover looks really cool. The back of the book, I mean, when you read it, you're like, oh, great, up my alley, I'm going to enjoy it. But there was something about it. I'm not going to go into it. But there was just something about it I did not like. Didn't get into any of the characters. Didn't like the story. Wasn't too involved in this book. Glad I did not pick this up first. Had I done so, I probably wouldn't have picked up anything else. So, lucky me, I didn't pick up this book first. But yeah, not a strong recommendation on my end to you guys. So, for whatever it's worth. This next book I haven't read. I got this for Christmas, but I'm purposely waiting till October to read this. And this is All Hallows Eve by Richard Laymon. And real quick, the back says, nothing unusual ever happens in Ashburg until a local family are horribly mutilated and left to die in their own home. Since that night, the old Sherwood house has stood dark and abandoned, a constant reminder of horrific killings. But when mysterious invitations begin to arrive announcing a party to be held there, nobody thinks it's a joke. After all, on All Hallows Eve, everyone wants to party in a house of death. So this is right up my alley. This is like a slasher movie in book format. I can just see. Hopefully it doesn't disappoint. Next book, I got another one for Christmas. Actually, no, I bought this before Christmas. It's a pretty lengthy book. It's well over 500 pages. And this one is called Quake. Now, one thing I want to point out to you guys is these books are first published in '95 by Headline Book Pressing, second published in '96. I guess it's Headline. Okay, so Headline are putting out these books here, and take a look at the art cover. If you're a horror fan, would you not just buy this to have it on your bookshelf? This is Quake. This is a book that all Richard Laymon fans that I've talked to or interacted with, they always talk about this. I always hear many things about the villain in this book, Stanley, and it's basically about an earthquake that takes place, and Stanley is this he has this infatuation with Sheila, and she's stuck in the rubble of an earthquake, and Stanley takes advantage of that and tries to go after her. Like I said, I haven't read this, but I've heard that he's a sicko. But check out the artwork. With the axe here, the bloody bone saw, axe, whatever. You got the saw here. You got the little silhouette, probably Stanley. You got all the rubble here. Yeah, great stuff. Another book here is Body Rides. Haven't read it. Another one I got. These books are very, very new. Not even, this is the first time I'm touching them, but I will get to them. I'm a slow reader, but I will get to these books. So yeah, you got Body Rides. And again, some great artwork with Endless Night, another new book that I haven't got into yet. But look at the machete, the door. Just I don't know if you can see, but you got like two silhouettes right there, two people running from something. Great artwork. On the website, Richard Laymon Kills, which I will add a link to. You know, they have everything there. They have all of his books. They have some interviews, which I've looked around the net, and I can't find hardly any interviews on Richard Laymon. It would be great to hear like a audio interview of the guy, but there's artwork from these books that are for sale too. So that's a really cool website. If you're a Richard Laymon fan, check out Richard Laymon Kills. Great website. Another book I have, this one I did read, and this one I really thoroughly enjoyed. It's called Come Out Tonight. And this book has this book starts out with one of his classic explicit sex scenes. This guy writes sex scenes like nobody's business, and he draws you in with it, and he always sets you up. There's always some sort of sexually, but in this book, it's like in the very first pages, because that's what it is. There's a sex scene, this couple, they're doing it for the first time. For some reason, Dwayne, he leaves the apartment. I forget exactly why. I think he has to go pick up condoms or something. So he leaves the apartment, and it's late at night. He's in a bad neighborhood, and Sherry hears this gunshot. And Dwayne does not leave. So she goes out looking for him, and she runs into an infamous Richard Laymon bad guy named Toby Bones. Great book. Check it out. Come Out Tonight. I've seen variations of the artwork because they're doing like you get two books in one. The artwork for some of those books aren't as great. This is cool to me. I like it. And these books here, I haven't paid more than $10 for. So, last one that I have here is one of my favorites. One of my favorites for especially for the month of Halloween. And this is another book that many Richard Laymon fans talk about whenever I interact with them on the net, or whenever I'm reading about which Laymon books to pick up next. It's called Night in the Lonesome October. This is like one of the best titles I've ever seen. And if you can see the artwork, look at the eye with the silhouette of the knife. This is a creepy book. This book is it's perfect for October. It's like something something wicked this way comes from Ray Bradbury. It's like a must read in October, and it just sets you up in the mood. The autumn wind, the October chill. You got the leaves falling. You got that breeze. It's not about Halloween, but it definitely sets you up. It's a perfect read for October. Anybody who's a fan of October, check this book out, and I advise you to read it in that month. And the last book that I will talk about briefly is a book that I gave to a friend that I no longer have, which I regret. It's called One Rainy Night, and it's among my top 5. For me, it's right up there with Come Out Tonight, Night in Lonesome October, Blood Games, because it was like the second novel of his I read, and it was pretty much about this black rain that falls from the sky, and once it seeps into your pores, you become a raving lunatic, just a raging lunatic, and people do nasty shit to each other. There's one scene where a guy's pumping gas, and this guy just shoves the gas hose down this dude's throat and just pumps gas into him. I mean, I've never seen a kill like that in a movie or anything. If I tell you, I mean, I can pretty much ruin the book now, so I won't tell you why it's raining or why people are turning into crazy lunatics. But I will just say, check out the book if you haven't read it. It's one of my favorites. So that concludes this. if any of you out there have any recommendations, please send them my way. Let's chat about Laymon. Let's keep his legacy alive. You know, the guy's been dead for many years, and his shit deserves to be read, man. It deserves to be recognized and read for, you know, what it is. I mean, he was very, very talented, and it's sad to see that artists can't enjoy success while they're still alive, especially artists who really put forth an effort to entertain people. This guy wrote many, many, many books. You know, that's going to take me 80 years to read because I'm a slow reader, but, you know, it's the journey, man. It's the journey. You know, the destination doesn't count, it's the journey. So, yeah, let's talk about Laymon. Anybody have any recommendations? Send them my way. Thank you very much for watching, and, you know, maybe I'll do this again. Take it easy.